Chicago.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
In every conversation, make as much about the other person as it is about you. It's called Paying It Forward, and that's a theme of this show. We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business. And I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And Get Down to Business, you can find out who's going to be on next week on that website as well, shalomklein.com. While you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. We've got a jam-packed week of content and information you won't want to miss. First up, we have the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Pete Hoekstra, who's going to be joining us talking about his new book called Architects of Disaster. But remember, Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or call 630-928-0510. You can also email them, simplify@tandemhr.com. And I'm on every morning on AM 560, The Answer, at 7:30 a.m. with your business tip of the week. So don't forget to tune into that. Once again, we're thrilled to be joined by Pete Hoekstra, the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Pete, welcome to the program.
Hey, it's great to be with you. Thank you.
Fantastic. So you wrote this book, Architects of Disaster, The Destruction of Libya, which is a fascinating subject. I had the good fortune of reading your book. And tell me, you obviously have a lot of background in public service, and you having formerly chaired the Intelligence Committee, you understand what's going on in Libya and really around the world. But what caused you to actually write this book?
Well, back in 2003, I was serving on the Intelligence Committee. I had the opportunity. One of my colleagues came up to me and said, "Hey, Pete, do you want to go visit Gaddafi in Libya?" And it's kind of like, no, not really. He said, no, I'm serious. There's indications that this guy wants to flip sides, that he actually wants to, establish good relationships with the United States. So I went. I had the opportunity to meet with Gaddafi 2 more times. So in a period of about 6-7 years, I met with Gaddafi on 3 different occasions, totaling about 5.5-6 hours of meetings with him. And he really was sincere. He changed his stripes. He became a guy that paid reparations to the victims of Libya's previous acts of terrorism. This was a guy that turned over his nuclear weapons program, actually put it in crates, shipped it to the United States. It now, sits in a warehouse. For those of you who are familiar with the Indiana Jones series, it's in a warehouse now, probably sitting next to the Ark of the Covenant somewhere. And then he became an ally with us fighting radical jihadists. So this was a guy and a country that became an ally of the United States, anchoring northern Africa as a place that was not safe for radical jihadists. This president, this Secretary of State, took this success story and totally ruined it, decided that Gaddafi had to go. Libya is now an exporter of jihadist fighters. It is an exporter of jihadist ideology, and it is an exporter of weapons throughout northern Africa and the Middle East.
We're chatting with Pete Hoekstra, the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Pete, would it be fair to say that all of the issues in the Middle East somehow all in some way or another connect to each other, and that this switch of sides in Libya has contributed to the humanitarian crisis really across the Middle East in Syria and Iraq?
Oh, absolutely, because what happened, as you're reading the book, there's every indication that the weapons and fighters in Libya, once they were done overthrowing Gaddafi, they moved over through Turkey into Syria. They became the core of what we now know as ISIS. So it's the humanitarian crisis, it's the instability in Syria, it's in Iraq, it's the caliphate, and going now as far as saying the fighters that are there are probably responsible in one way or another, linked to the takedown of the Russian plane last week.
And this has built up over time with the financing and the weapons transfer. So my question to you, Pete, is there hope to get out of this? Meaning, is the damage done, and a future president, a future Secretary of State, a future leader in our armed forces, can we recover from this?
Oh, absolutely. We can recover. It's not going to be easy. We have to learn the lessons from the good things and the bad things that happened in the Bush administration, the good and the bad things that happened in the Obama administration. But the biggest lesson we have to learn is that these radical jihadist groups, we can't trust them. We can't work with them. We can't manage them. They want to destroy our way of life. And once we come to that realization, we will be able to confront them, contain them, and ultimately defeat them, but it will be a long and difficult fight.
We're chatting with Pete Hoekstra, the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Fascinating take on the situation in Libya and its contribution to the humanitarian crisis across the Middle East. Again, the book is called Architects of Disaster, The Destruction of Libya. So, Pete, a couple of questions for you. Since you've left office, what have you been up to?
I spent a little bit of time lobbying, but really I'm spending the vast majority of my time now working with an organization called the Investigative Project on Terrorism. It was founded by Steve Emerson roughly 20 years ago. It has really focused primarily on the threat of what we call silent jihad. These groups moving into the United States and infiltrating the United States and slowly trying to establish a base and a foothold to establish the kind of crisis that we see in Europe today. But they're trying to do it right here in the United States. So I'm working on that with Steve Emerson and the Investigative Project on Terrorism. Well,
you traveled a lot on the Intelligence Committee and throughout your public service. What was actually your favorite place to visit? I'm just going to go on a limb and assume it wasn't visiting Gaddafi in Libya.
No, it wasn't. The Middle East is a fascinating place. I wish everybody would have the opportunity to go there. But traveling to places, going to Jordan, having the opportunity of going to a place like Petra, from a pure sightseeing was fascinating. But I think probably the most interesting place that I went, I had the opportunity while our troops were fighting, and they're still there. But traveling to Afghanistan, it's a phenomenal from a physical standpoint. It is a phenomenally beautiful place. The people are great. So being in Afghanistan and being able to fly around that country was a wonderful experience.
That's incredible. And again, we're talking with the author of Architects of Disaster, The Destruction of Libya, former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Pete Hoekstra. And Pete, switching gears from international subject to a domestic issue and something that obviously is near and dear to all of our listeners. You got to know Paul Ryan before he was Speaker Ryan, and I'm curious what your crystal ball is telling you. How will he do on all of these issues facing our country?
I think Paul's going to be a great speaker. I first met Paul in the mid-'90s. He was still a staff worker working for then Congressman Sam Brownback, who's now the governor of Kansas. Paul's a bright guy. He's an articulate guy. He is a policy wonk, but I think what he will be talking about is he'll hopefully be a very articulate spokesperson for conservatives and what our message is. And I think people were looking at 2016 and saying the House and House Republicans may be a liability to our opportunity to win the White House in 2016. I think Paul Ryan's going to turn that around, and as he leads the House will become an asset to whoever the Republican nominee is for president.
Well, the man has a lot to say on a lot of subjects, and Pete, I'd love to have you back on the program. Appreciate your comments on the situation in the Middle East. The author, once again, of Architects of Disaster, Pete Hoekstra. Pete, how can people buy your book and learn more about your work?
The book is available on Amazon, both in paperback and in a Kindle version. We'd love to have them go there for a number of days. We were the number one bestseller under international diplomacy, and we'd like to get back there. So, we've had a very, very good response to the book, but it's available on Amazon.
Yeah, check it out. You could download it. You could purchase it. Architects of Disaster. I did. It's a fantastic read from a fantastically interesting individual. Pete Hoekstra, we look forward to having you back on the program. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, great. Good to be with you. Thank you.
You got to Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or call 630-928-0510, 630-928-0510. You can also email them, simplify@tandemhr.com. Get Down to Business is brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can find them at everettwealthsolutions.com or call 708-771-7777. Coming up, we're going to check in with executive business coach and award-winning Vistage Chair, Dick Smith. Don't touch that dial. We've got so much more information for you. You could get on my website, shalomklein.com, to download podcasts from Get Down to Business and find out who's going to be on next on the show. It's all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Don't touch that dial.